So if you install a header on your car, you might be throwing a check engine light with a P0420 code because there's no cat there. That could also happen if you have a catted header like I do. It doesn't seem to like having a high flow cat, and the car is really sensitive to it, especially after changing out the O2 sensor. So in the meantime, I'm going to just install this Vibrant J-style O2 sensor spacer. Now it's a 11619 is the model on it. So this is what shows up in the package. It's going to screw into the S-pipe, not the header, and then you basically turn it whatever direction will fit best underneath, and then tighten down the lock nut. So there's also a washer that you're going to want to put on there. Let me stick it on here. Okay. So here's what it looks like on the inside. It comes with 3 restrictor fittings. You can basically either use no restrictor fitting, or you can use one of these 3. This is the middle one. Everyone seems to use this one, and it appears to work the best. All you do is stick it in here, and then there's a ring clip, a snap ring, and you take the snap ring, and it sits inside a groove just above the restrictor fitting. So if I pop back out, and you look down in here, you can see the groove right there. So you'll need to use a snap ring tool to put it in, or if you have a pair of long needle nose pliers, you can stick them in the holes and use it to pinch it to fit it in there. Another thing is you want to use the anti-seize lubricant. Otherwise, you might have some problems trying to remove it later down the road. I'm actually going to remove the O2 sensor from my header because I forgot to use it when I installed the header on the car. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and crawl underneath the car and pop this in. Alright, so I'm under the passenger side of the car, trying to get the, there we go, getting the O2 sensor out of the harness up here. So, but here you can see the O2 sensor on the S-pipe right now. So I'm going to unscrew that, and then we'll put in the O2 sensor spacer. Here's what it looks like when it's installed. I went ahead and aimed it upwards. I kind of followed the direction of the pipe going up here, so it's parallel to it, the way that it curves, and it's going to aim that direction. So installation was really easy. I just screwed it in place, held it, and then tightened down the lock nut here, and then I installed the O2 sensor on top. And I went ahead and used the anti-seize lubricant on both sets of threading. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put the car down and go driving for a few days and make sure the check engine light doesn't come back on. So I am so glad to not have the check engine light turn on anymore. Right after I replaced my secondary O2 sensor, it was coming on every 15 or 20 minutes. But now it's been about a week and I haven't had any problems with it, which is great. Now I've seen some cheaper methods people use to space out their O2 sensor, where they use the spark plug anti-fouler spacers. I don't really feel comfortable with those. I don't recommend it because they are aluminum, and I mean, if you think about it, you're going to be screwing a soft aluminum metal into a stainless steel pipe and then your O2 sensor into it, and then you're tightening it down. You can easily strip the threading on it, and then it's going to be subjected to all the heat from the exhaust. And then imagine trying to unscrew it later down the road. I mean, it might get too weak from all the heat and then break in there. So you might as well spend the money at least to get a real spacer. Now, if you want to save a little bit of money, you could get one of the regular ones, which is just a straight piece that goes in. I think you'll have enough clearance to fit it underneath the car without any issues. But I've seen some of those not always work. At least with the J-style spacer from Vibrant, I know this one works. I recommended it to someone. They tested it out. It worked for them. Desod was selling it on their site. They probably still are for their red headers, and it works fine for there. I haven't seen anyone say they installed it and it didn't work. So if you're gonna go ahead and spend the money and then climb underneath the car and do all this extra work, you might as well get a spacer that you know is going to work. So I definitely recommend getting the Vibrant J-style O2 sensor spacer. All right, thanks for watching.